Why did Adam keep Shabbat if he wasn't Jewish? Because Adam HaRishon got the oral Torah already on day one. And we had the oral Torah already on day one. And the Gemara says that our forefathers and the main tzaddikim throughout the generations kept different parts of the Torah even though they weren't obligated. Like our forefathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, kept all of the mitzvot. Kept all of the mitzvot because they loved Hashem and they feared Hashem and they wanted to serve Hashem in the highest possible way. But the Zohar says that since technically Judaism wasn't created until Mount Sinai, and technically they weren't obligated to keep Shabbat. If someone would say, yeah, they were decreed to be Noahides, as far as halacha is concerned. So what? So it says that a Noahide that keeps Shabbat, chayav mitah, is death penalty, heavenly death penalty. It says yes, but you have to understand that Avraham Avinu, in order to eliminate any type of issue of in case he's forbidden from observing Shabbat, what would he do? He would make a minor violation. What's the minor violation? He would create a cow. He used Sefer Yetzirah to create a cow from nothing every Shabbat. And creating is not allowed on Shabbat. This is similar to someone that's in the process of conversion to Judaism. They have to keep 99% of the mitzvot, 99% of Shabbat. So they keep Shabbat like a regular Jew, except that they will, let's say, turn on or turn off the light once. And they'll get to 100% once they convert. So it's not that they were obligated to keep. They wanted to keep. Now a person today can't say, no, I want to be like Avraham Avinu, I'm going to keep 99% of Shabbat and 99% of Yom Kippur, even though I have no intention of converting. No, that's not allowed. Why? Because Chazal specifically said that unless a person is a Jew or in the process of conversion, there's no permission to just start taking on the Jewish mitzvot and the prayers and so on yourself and say you're Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu and Yitzchak and Yaakov didn't have the option of converting to Judaism because that wasn't until Mount Sinai. But they are our forefathers, nonetheless. How are we to understand organized prayer versus prayer from the heart? Okay, so a Jew has to pray, a Jewish man has to pray 3 times a day. The Shachrit, Mincha, and Arvit. The morning, the afternoon, and the night prayer. Those are the 3 prayers. Ideally, he should pray with a minyan, which is a quorum of 10 Jews that are Torah observant, or more, 10 or more, meaning he would be number 10 or more, and that is the ideal. A woman has to pray only once a day, a Jewish woman, and she does not have to pray in a minyan. She could pray by herself, which is the most common, but the point is the reason why the quorum is more significant than praying by yourself is because when a person prays by themselves, their prayer is like any other person. They're not always perfect. Sometimes they're in the mood, sometimes they're not in the mood, sometimes they're focused, sometimes they're not focused. Sometimes they're saying their prayer and they're thinking about their car or their grocery list or their problems or whatever it is instead of thinking about Hashem. So their prayer is not perfect. And even if some parts of it are really good, the rest of it is not good. Whereas when there's a quorum, when there's a minyan, what Hashem does is He takes the best part of each one of the prayers, each one of the people that's in the minyan, and He combines it in order to elevate a perfect prayer, to credit everyone with a perfect prayer. So the prayer of a minyan is going to be superior to the prayer of an individual. Now this does not compete with the prayer from your heart, meaning with your own words. Prayer from your heart, from your own words, you can do at any given time. And you should do, or whenever you can. But you don't have an obligation to do like you do the other prayers that I just mentioned. This was all for Jews. Now for non-Jews, on the other hand, there is no organized prayer. Non-Jews, their prayer is from their heart all the time, whenever they can. Every day, every afternoon, every hour, whenever they want, whenever they can, prayer from their heart. They should not pray from the Jewish prayer book, because it's not meant for them. For them to say certain prayers would be a lie. Like for a non-Jew to say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad is a lie. Why? Because it's referring specifically, Hear O Israel. Hashem is God, Hashem is Hashem. So it's Israel. You're not Israel. You may be righteous, you may be wonderful, you may be supporting Israel, you may be supporting Torah, but you're still not Israel. So you can't say things that are not relevant to you. Or Baruch Atah Hashem, bless you Hashem, Sheki Deshanu V'Tzivanu, that sanctified us and commanded us to. He didn't command you anything. He didn't command you to keep anything. He commanded you to keep the Noahide laws. You can't say certain blessings when they're not relevant to you. It would be a lie. So a prayer for a Noahide should be from their own heart, from their own words. And typically those are the best prayers. Is wasting seed a big sin for a non-Jew? Wasting seed is forbidden for everyone. It is a bigger sin for a Jew than a non-Jew, but it is certainly considered disgusting in the eyes of God, even if a non-Jew does it. One of the examples that the Torah uses as a source for showing how this is forbidden both for Jews and non-Jews is when the sons of Yehuda, the son of Yaakov, he had two sons, Er and Onan. Both of them wasted seed, and Hashem killed both of them. And they weren't Jewish. They were considered Noahides, and Hashem killed both of them. And there are many other examples that Chachamim say wasting seed is forbidden both for Jews and non-Jews. It's not the same level of prohibition, but it certainly is not a good thing to do, regardless of whether a person is Jewish or non-Jewish. And quite frankly, every person that uses their common sense knows within them that it is wrong. How? Your body tells you. Your body tells you there's a significant difference in your emotional and physical feelings after procreation. You know, a person is with, even if it's not for a result of having children, just simply a person with their spouse, versus a person committing some type of adultery, whether or immorality with self or with others, or Shem Echem, all this other things that are out there. The person feels it right away. There's an immediate down. There's an immediate dreadful feeling. Every person, the joy that the elation that a person gets is the rise. But as soon as they get to the so-called destination, immediately drops. It's like it's no different than when people are drug addicts. Not just figuratively speaking, but actually physically speaking. When they monitored the brain, which you guys are going to see in my new film, Organuz, there's a section about Tikkun Abrit in there. There's people that have monitored the brain and see the impact that this has on a person's brain versus drug addicts, and it's the same exact thing. Same exact thing. They both are sick. Now, you're not going to see the same thing for people that have normal, procreation with their spouse. You're not going to see the same thing. So it's not about, this seed or that seed. No, the actual byproduct is the same. But how and with whom has the impact. So this also shows you that there's more to the body than just a physical flesh. There's a soul. There's a spiritual element that science cannot explain. Because you have seed leaving on the right, seed leaving on the left, but the brain and body and emotional being, a state of being of the person are significantly different. And these two outcomes. In one end, it's a disaster. Another end, it's a elevation, happiness, joy, and so on. Two complete, same exact action. Two completely different outcomes. Why? Because the body is you are more than just a piece of flesh. You're more than a cow. But if you act like a cow, if you act like a bull, if you act like a horse, then perhaps that's why Hashem reminded us in this parasha that some people became horses.